Easter tradition means long lines today at Bernat's Polish Deli in Chicopee ahead of the holiday weekend. Western Mass News reporter Libby James caught up with customers picking up their orders.
We love what we do here, and we're really happy that people keep those traditions alive and keep those things going where they'll come to a local small establishment and have that for their family.
Bernat's Polish Deli in Chicopee is buzzing as customers stop in to pick up their holiday favorites. Owner Gregory Bernat tells Western Mass News they started making their Easter kielbasa 2 weeks ahead of time.
Typically this time of year, kielbasa is the #1 seller. Babkas as well, the sweetbreads. A lot of people buy the miniature ones for their Easter baskets to get blessed.
After making around 1,000 rings of kielbasa yesterday, they're making even more today, since Good Friday is their busiest day of the year.
For many local families, Bernat's is part of their Easter tradition.
It's a tradition that we have lamb cake for Easter.
Darlene Switz lives in Chicopee. She tells us she's been coming to Bernat's for years.
We prepare as Polish people an Easter basket, and it has traditional Polish food that we take to the churches to have it blessed on Sunday.
Helen Curtin drove from Northampton to pick up her Easter order.
Polish people have the custom of blessing of their breakfast food for the following day. That's kielbasa, eggs, Polish bread, babka.
And the long line of customers also means extra traffic this Friday before Easter. So police are called in to help direct traffic. Officer Ryan Carlitas tells us Chicopee Street is a busy area, and customers are always thankful for the help.
Some people try and give me chocolates and stuff, but I always tell them that I don't need the chocolates.
You're good.
Yeah, they're always very nice, very friendly, happy that we're here.
In Chicopee, Libby James for Western Mass News.